Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 403, Why Passive Aggressive Leadership Breaks Trust, and what you can do instead. Have you ever thought you were being kind by not addressing an issue at work head on? Like if you drop a hint or dance around it. That's easier for everyone, right? But here's what I realized. Passive aggressive leadership doesn't protect your team. It actually destroys their trust in you. In today's episode, I'll share how I broke the habit and the exact words I use to handle tough conversations now. And I'll share how you can shift from irritation and side comments to leading with confidence.
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Hey, badass! Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, the podcast where we share stories and strategies to help women lead louder in rooms that weren't built for them. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you feel ordinary or badass, I'm so glad you're here. First, let's start out with our good old segment, Ordinary versus Badass. What felt ordinary to me this week? Honestly, it's the drudgery of being in the middle of life. Those boring, uneventful days where you just want things to move faster, and they don't. That was my ordinary, where you just feel stuck in the middle and things aren't moving as fast or as quickly as you'd like them to. I hate it. So, again, it's ordinary, it's uneventful. It's like you want to be somewhere else, you want to be ahead. Maybe it's not appreciating these ordinary days, but it's how I feel. It's like I feel just stuck in the middle, like things aren't moving at all, almost like you're in quicksand. Maybe a little better than quicksand. Doesn't necessarily feel like I'm sinking. I'm just not moving ahead as fast as I would like to. But what felt badass? Okay, I'm gonna be sappy here. Feeling my emotions. And listen, I'll be the first to tell you I suck at this. Paying attention to how my body feels, letting myself cry, that's not my strength at all. And if you work in a predominantly male industry, you probably get this because it's not as accepted there, right? It's like, be tough, hide your emotions, do the thing. So I enrolled in a course that's about meditation and also about your emotions. And let me tell you, I've cried my eyes out. I'm not that emotional. Part of that's just natural, right? Other part is like, okay, you spend how long in a career? You're gonna build some habits, you're gonna build some behaviors that are the normal at the career, and then they kind of seep into your ordinary life. But me feeling my emotions, that is progress. And here's the thing that I've learned. If you don't feel your emotions, it works until it doesn't. I never allowed myself to cry. Then, after the death of my stepdaughter, I couldn't stop crying. Of course, that's incredibly sad and it's understandable to be like bawling your eyes out, but I feel like it took me longer to grieve because I hadn't dealt with all my prior emotions. So not only did I have the sadness and grief from her death, but then I had all the other years of piled up shit that I had never dealt with that like piled on top of that. So I think the pain just stuck with me longer because I had more catching up to do. It will catch up with you one way or another. When you might be good, you might be strong, you might be solid, and then something happens and it like all comes crashing down. Not just my experience, but I've seen it with many, many coworkers. And so it's like, yeah, I'm a big believer that we have to recognize how our body feels, recognize our emotions, feel how we feel. I'm not telling you I'm good at it. I'm just saying I believe that. I think that's a thing. So, you know what? Just leaning into this course I'm taking, practicing feeling how I feel and feeling my emotions and letting that be okay. Today, that's my badass move. Let's talk about passive aggressive leadership. Today, we're going to talk about why passive aggressive leadership breaks trust. For so long, I thought I was being kind by not addressing issues head on. I'd make a side comment, get irritated, circle around the issue, thinking that was easier for everyone. But what actually happens is your team feels micromanaged. They feel second guessed, like you don't trust them. And because you never set the boundary early, you never set those expectations, then they start to think it's a personal problem or a personal issue. And once trust is gone, you're done as a leader. Like Stephen Covey says in his book, The Speed of Trust, when trust is low, speed goes down and costs, they go up. And that's exactly what happens in a passive aggressive environment. People waste energy guessing on what you mean instead of doing their work. So here's what to do instead. And and let me tell you about the shift I made. Instead of hiding behind irritation, get specific and direct. Instead of saying, "Where were you? What were you doing?" I set the expectation ahead of time. I asked them to, if you're going to be out of the office, please just put it in your calendar. Share your calendar with me so I have access. Then it's an expectation. Everybody knows what I expect. I don't have to get irritated because they didn't do it. And if they don't do it, then they already know, yeah, I'm going to talk to you because it's already been set as an expectation. But don't leave them to guess. Nobody likes to justify their behavior, especially when they don't know that they did anything wrong. So here's another example. So I had an employee, let's call him Josh, and other supervisors were telling me that he was taking long coffee breaks. I hadn't witnessed this for myself, and nobody could give me any specific details. So I called him in. I said, "Hey, Josh, I've received complaints that you've been taking long coffee breaks at the end of your shift. Nobody gave me any details, and I haven't seen it myself, but I wanted to check in with you." Or you can say, and you don't even have to say that nobody gave me any details. You can say, "Tell me about this. Can you tell me? Where do you think this is coming from?" Don't make an assumption. That way, I address the issue. And if he was doing it, he knows, okay, that's not acceptable to me, right? That way, if he was doing it, I addressed the issue. But if he wasn't, he also had a chance to clarify or to speak up for himself. No assumptions, no gossip, just direct feedback, direct conversation. Let's talk about some sort of framework for handling issues because I want you to have tactical information that you can actually implement. So when I have to call someone in, here's a framework that I use now. Call them in, not out. No need to call them out. So, hey, I brought you in to talk about X. State the behavior clearly without judgment. For example, I've noticed you've been late to work and you haven't shown up for callouts. Then I want you to anchor it back to their strengths. This isn't like you. You have always been a reliable and a solid employee. 4, ask them what's going on. Then listen. If they share, thank them for sharing. If they decide not to share, that's up to them, but let them know that you want to support them. And step number 5, set the expectations and follow up. Here's what I need moving forward. Let's check back in X amount of time and we'll see how things are going. Do you have any questions? That's it. No irritation, no passive aggressive behavior, just clarity. So let's go over those steps again really quickly. 1, call them in, not out. 2, state the behavior clearly without judgment. 3, anchor it back to their strengths. 4, ask them what's going on. And 5, set expectations and follow up. Set expectations for the future and follow up. Okay, so here's the bottom line. Passive aggressive behavior feels safe in the moment, but it destroys trust in the long run. Your discomfort as a leader, it's temporary. It'll get better. But the trust you build by being direct that helps to build communication and solid working relationships. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another badass leader who needs to hear it. And make sure to hit follow so you don't miss an episode of the Ordinary to Badass podcast. You can also find me on Instagram at Ordinary to Badass. And by the fact that you're listening to this episode, I think you're pretty badass. You're taking steps. You're learning, you're growing, you're improving at work, you're improving at home, you're doing all the things. You have all these balls in the air and you're doing it. You're killing it. Even if you think you're ordinary, I know you're listening to this. You're trying to level up. Well, you are leveling up. You're a badass. And I want you to recognize that for yourself. As women, we often undersell ourselves, undercut ourselves, and don't see how badass we really are. I don't know. I just want that more than anything for you. I want you to know what a freaking badass you are. I'm proud of you. With that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.